I don't know, honestly. I mean, we can indicate it tardy on here, and then I think Carla can adjust it. She would know a little bit better than I do. But
Okay.
we'll just mark tardy if they do come in. All right, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I have 6:02, so I'm going to mark the meeting at 6:02. And I'm going to take attendance real quick. For our administrator, we have Mr. Finley.
And I think it's 6:05. Let's use 6:05.
And then I'm going to hear. All right. And then Ms. Taylor is here.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Hoganson is here.
Present.
Mr. Osahueda.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, Carla's not here yet. John isn't here yet. Jennifer Grobe.
I'm here.
Awesome. Jennifer Hamilton.
Here.
Awesome. And then Brett isn't here yet. And I am here. So I know, I guess I can leave the totals down. 1, 2, 3, 7. So our quorum is one more than half. So we're good. Do we have any guests today, even if you're not going to speak? If you want to just quickly introduce yourself so that we know who was here today. I mean, the screen says Kim Hughes, but it might not be Kim who's on there. Should I just leave it blank for now then?
I'll chat and see if she answers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll leave it blank for now. If we do need to update it, we'll come back to it. Now, item 4, review and approval of the agenda. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? There's not a lot of action items this month. Probably more than anything, there's a couple discussion items, but I'll scroll down real quick just so we can get a quick idea. There's going to be a couple discussion topics. That looks like really it on the thing today. So can I get somebody to motion to approve the agenda, please?
I motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Hoganson.
I second.
Was that Rachel?
Yes.
Thank you, Rachel. And so let me take roll real quick. Mr. Finley, are you in favor of approving the? He just turned off his camera. Are you?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you in favor of approving the agenda?
Yes.
Perfect. Rachel?
Yes.
Thank you. Genevieve?
Yes.
Thank you. Alvin?
Aye.
Thank you. Absent. Absent. Jennifer Grobe?
I'm actually going to abstain.
Okay. And Jennifer Hamilton?
Aye.
Thank you. Absent. I will motion to, I will vote to approve it. 1, 2, 6. Okay, so the motion carries. When I write vote, do I just say how many were in favor?
Yes. Yes.
6 ayes. Do I just write motion carries?
You're right. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. All right. I would, at this point, invite anybody in the public to address us, but it looks like they've all kind of left. So we're just going to skip over that one. Item 6, so discussion topic. So I was hoping more members were here for this, but we can, I guess, start to bring it up. I added this to the agenda because we had talked last year briefly about bringing in rotating elections so that we're not completely replacing our board every 2 years. And the only thing really to say about this is we kind of need to figure out who is going to need to step down this year, so that we can have, those rotating elections. Any thoughts on that right now? Anybody who knows this is going to kind of be a difficult year for them?
So just to confirm, you will suggest, well, let me don't say the word suggest. You were saying that someone may have to step down in order to make it rotating.
Yeah, correct.
We can run again.
Yeah, you can run again for sure. We don't want, since we all started at the same time, right? We don't want everybody to be replaced every year, just so that there's always progress and not how do I say it? Not
It's
that
not a
every-
fresh start.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Jen.
It's not a fresh start every time.
Did we ever decide on, because I remember us talking about having the leadership of our group have longer, like set terms of some sort, where you would be, give us an opportunity to have some stability. And then, I don't know if it was that like the president would move into, like, stay on the council, but not be there for a year. I don't remember, like, so that there would be someone there to like help kind of support incoming officers, or
Yeah, I do remember we talked about that. I'm trying to remember where we landed on it, but oh, sorry, but you're absolutely right. We did mention that.
I bring it up because obviously, if I don't know if we came up with a specific amount, like term time frame, but I would think that we would, if we're gonna have officers, like maybe you're elected for 2 years or something like that, but then we would want you to have a year where you're not an officer necessarily.
Oh,
but
okay,
you're
but like an
supporting the
overlap
income,
here.
right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off. Yeah,
No, that's okay. I just thought like you're supporting the incoming whoever that is.
yeah. I mean, I personally think that would be a very good idea. I think there's a lot of value in that. So then are we saying that for the different, because, okay, so obviously it's not going to be something we vote on. We're only going to talk about it. I should be writing all these things down, huh? Okay, so we're not going to vote on anything today. So all suggestions are, let's get them out right now. But yeah, we did mention having slightly longer. So like we had said, maybe the president would be a 3-year position, or the chair would be a 3-year position, and that 3rd year would be that transition year where we're in a training and supportive capacity.
Here's my question. What happens if you wanted to run for a second term of 2 years, and then we vote you in, like as a school, and then you've only got 1 year left on your term? Does it start your clock over again?
So like if traditionally, or let's say I would have a 3-year term, but I won the re-election, is that 3rd year necessary? Or can we scrap it and just say another 2 years? Is that what you're asking?
No, what I'm saying is, like, would that clock of 3 years start over if you got elected a second time, or, anybody in a leadership position, if they have a longer term, would that clock start over? Like, I feel like that's something we would, because then you've got 1 year left on your term. You have to get reelected to the school site council, but you're elected to a position that is a tier position. Like, they don't match up. Does that make sense? So do we want our officers to be elected every year, but then once you're an officer, you're in a 2-year, I don't know. Does anyone else have input? I don't remember what we said before or what was suggested. And Mr. Finley, maybe you could pop in and say like, do you know how this is handled in other types of groups, like other councils or whatever?
Organizations.
No, I don't have the specifics with regards to that. But what I can say for now, Mr. Delfino said, we don't have to vote right now, so we can just take notes of suggestions, and then we can bring it back up again. I remember when Dr. Menti was here, we did talk about the cycles. But I'm thinking we mentioned earlier about probably rerunning for your position. So if that's the case at the end of the cycle, is that a decision that we have to think about now? And not meaning now, meaning today, but if people plan to rerun for their post, then we shouldn't really have anything to worry about per se, right?
Right. I mean, at least right now. The other thing is that I do think it would make a lot of sense for all positions to be like you're elected for a 2-year position, and the only exception is going to be this year, and that's only because we all started at the same time. So next year, like whoever's elected this year, you're for sure in for next year. And then the people that are not elected this year, now you're going to have to get reelected in next year for the council. And we might want to make it be like, I know we have 3 teachers. I mean, so like one teacher is one cycle and 2 is the other. And then maybe the cycle that has 1 teacher has also the the classified staff member in that group. So now we have the school people, and then for parents, it's half and half. How many parents do we have? Do we have 5 or 4?
No, it's 5. Let me go back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay, so like 3 and 2.
Mhm.
So we kind of split up the school, like, so, just like Judge saying, like, maybe it's this year, me and Alvin are reelected, are up for reelection, and next year, Rachel and Carla, their positions are up. Would that make sense? Like splitting it in half?
Yeah. Yep. Because the administrator and the class, well, Rachel, is your position something you have to run for? Like, is there an election for your position?
They did hold an election, yes.
Okay, so we would have to choose or establish how long the term is for a classified employee, right? And then there are 3 teachers that we would have to say, like Genevieve was saying, make it be 2-year terms, and then 2 of the teachers run 1 year, the other teacher runs the next year. Hey, Carla, thank you for joining us.
Hi, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was at a great football game at King. Oh man, it ran late, but they won. So woo, go King.
Awesome.
I mean, it does make sense. I think it makes sense to have the 1 teacher and the classified person. They're going to be on one of those flip, and then the other year it's the other 2 teachers. So we have some stability within that. It's not like, all right, the classified person and 2 teachers, so now there's like potentially 3 fully new people with only 1 person from the school that's staying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How are we
So-
going to differentiate like which teacher does how many terms?
I think that was going to be for this time a volunteer type thing that they would, correct?
That was my understanding as well. So we're not looking to cut anybody, but we do need certain people to step down. So for example, personally, and I'm going to only use myself as an example, right? I don't know that we would want a new president so early into the process, or a new chair, sorry. But if nobody volunteers, I am going to volunteer to step down this year. If nobody else does it. But, and then that way, I mean, I'll be happy to rerun. Oh, Genevieve, is that, it just clicked for me. Is that what you were asking? Like, if I volunteer to step down this year and I rerun and get elected, does my term now start over? Does my clock start over?
Yeah, because if we're saying, I mean, truly, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for you to be the one that steps down. I think that, you know, if we have 5 parents, maybe we have, you know, 2 of them step down this year and then 3 are reelected next year. But like, let's say you're one of the parents that stays. And now, and we've decided that, like, because you were an officer, you should have a 3-year term and not a 2-year term. If we decide that, if in 2 years you run for the president election or the president position or chair position again, you're voted in, does that start that 3-year term or the 2-year term over again? Because now you would then potentially leave in the middle of your term.
I would say, for the sake of simplicity, since this is the first time we're doing it, I would suggest, yes, the term starts over.
I mean, that's what I would suggest too. Yeah.
Let's say that Mr. Acevedo decides that he's going to volunteer to step down and he gets reelected, then his 2-year term starts at his reelection. I just think that would make, just to keep it simple, because then I'm afraid we'd be facing the same situation at the end of the next term.
So then, to me, I'm not sure if I missed something. Why do we make people just step down?
Because we have to set up alternating years for the elections. So we want 1 year to vote for 3 of the 5 parent seats. The next year, we're going to vote for 2 of the parent seats. That way, there's always at least some members who were there during the last term. So kind of carrying each other over. It doesn't have to
So
be.
is it that we want to switch out members for others to have an opportunity, or?
No, the goal isn't to get anybody who's here now off and bring in other people. The goal is so that's whenever we have an election for the board, there are at least a few or at least half of the members who were there in the previous months to kind of carry on what was already built. That way we're not starting over with the entire board.
Right. We don't want to start over every single year or every 2 years, completely new group of people potentially.
So are we looking to get those parents that would like to put themselves up for a step down today, or is that something that we're going to bring next time?
We're not taking any actions today. We're not doing any voting on this. We're just bringing up all questions and concerns, having a discussion about it. If anybody wants to let us know now, hey, I want to volunteer to be one of those parents who either steps down or who is willing to rerun this year, then that's okay too. But again, no action being taken this year at this moment.
So for me personally, this is Jen talking, sorry, Jen Grobe. I have a 4th grader. So it would be in my best interest and in the best interest of the board for me to actually rerun again for next year, because if I am reelected, I will then finish out my 2 years when my son moves on to the next grade level. So definitely put me in that area because I am 4th grade. So that'll give me 2 years.
Thank you.
Delphino, would you like me to take over typing?
Only because I'm not good at it. I'm trying to keep up, but I don't know.
Then you can be doing the running thing.
I don't know that I'm capturing everything.
And
I got you.
I would still like to be part of the school side council, but I can be one of the teachers or one of the reach people that goes for re-election this year.
Okay, thank you.
But I will want to try at least to get, I enjoy being on the council, so.
I agree. That's my goal, is to rejoin next year. That's my goal.
Oh, and Jen, it would be this year. You would be part of it this year. So we
Correct.
would
And
hold
then-
elections this year, and so it would be fourth and fifth. I was just confused on that. Your child would still be fourth and fifth grade.
Oh, this, the last previous year doesn't, because we were elected last year, so it doesn't include last year and this year for our 2-year term?
The reason it doesn't is that otherwise all of us are up for reelection next
I
year.
see. Okay, no worries. Even though I can still do that, and then we can look into what will happen the following year at that time. Doesn't matter. I will still put myself as that person that will rerun.
Thank you, Jen. Now, I did have a question because Genevieve's been asking about those of us who are officers, right? Having a 3rd year, we can always put the option down to have an extra 3 months or some kind of transitionary period. It doesn't have to be an entire 3rd year where we're on the board and getting a right to vote and all that stuff. But we would have to clarify how all of that works, right? But the other question I had was, how many officer positions do we have? But I know if there's just a chair, is there, there's a vice chair, which is Ms. Hamilton, and the secretary, right? Which is Ms. Sanchez. Are there any other officer positions? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we just held the election for the 3, the chair, vice chair, and secretary.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess if there's no other comments on this topic right now, and that's again why I wished everybody was here so that we could get everybody's
I have a
input.
question.
Yeah, Jennifer.
So, I know because you're a chair, but I'm vice chair right now. But I'm kind of in the same situation to where my daughter's in the 3rd grade, and I know you said we have 2-year terms until then. Not necessarily being vice chair, but being on the committee for the stint of her years, I would want to make sure that that happens to run for re-election. But if I don't do it this time, then I would do it next time, and that counts for 3 years if I was reelected. Is that what that means?
Well, I think, and it's just a suggestion, it's not how we wrote our bylaws or anything, but the suggestion from Ms. Hokanson, and Ms. Hokanson, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what she's saying is you and I and Carla would serve in our positions for 2 years as officers. So regardless, we would rerun next school year. And if we don't win the re-election, then we would spend a 3rd year, an extra year. So
Okay.
training the people who won the election.
Right. Okay.
And supporting them generally, but yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, I just wanted to be sure because I know we were talking about people stepping down for re-election this year, but I didn't know if that was including us because I didn't plan to. But if it was something that I'll have to do to make it for the next 3 years, then I obviously would do it. But if you're saying that that's not necessary, then forget my question.
Yeah, I actually don't think you, I, or Carla should be any of the ones who volunteer this year. Not because I'm power hungry, but it's just, it's so brand new that we want to set a very concrete foundation to hand off to somebody.
Right.
I'm regardless of whether I rerun or get reelected or any of that. I'm 100% there for Reach to help out in any which way I can. So, you know, I just don't think it's a good idea for you, myself, or Carla this year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be that we need all 3 positions to be, staying an extra year. For example, potentially vice president isn't as crucial as like the president. And then Carla, I know like as a secretary, you're responsible for quite a bit. So it may be that, I don't know if that was easy to learn or You know, you would know better than anybody else.
I'm just typing. That's what I'm typing quick over here.
It's not that easy, or I'm doing really bad, but I was too deep in the conversation. I was like, oh, I need to type stuff. So it does take some skill.
So,
But-
I mean, I would say that like, personally, I would say that the chair position is going to be the most crucial, because to me, it seemed like the thing that was the hard, I mean, yeah, of course we always have admin to guide, you know, so it does, you know, that's always helpful, but being able to have another year of, I don't know, advising, or at least being there to be like, hey, I know what to do about this, like, let me assist.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like that could be a really helpful thing. But I do realize that we run into some snafus when your kids are, you know, it's like, I work there. When my kids graduate, I'm still there, right? Hopefully. But when your kids graduate, you're on to the next school, potentially helping that school. So it's a very different thing for parents.
Yeah. It is and it isn't though, because I don't know. Personally, I really believe in the REACH mission statement, right? I really believe in the vision. And so even, I mean, I have one going into kinder next year, so I got time, but I think even after that, you know, if it's something that's worthwhile, something that you see making, I don't know, as a person, I'm always looking for, how can we better affect society, right? How can we have a positive impact? And, you know, the organizations that do that are hard to find. And so if you find one that's hard to find, you're going to throw your weight behind it, regardless of whether or not there's a personal benefit from it personally. But yeah, and we, again, when we have more members present, we can discuss maybe, you know, instead of a third year, there's a 6 months transitionary period for the chair, and for the secretary, it might just be a month or two, just to kind of, these are the kind of things you want to make sure you write down. This is where you put these notes. You're allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. You know, and for the vice chair, maybe it's 3 months, or maybe it is 6 months. You know, we'll see. We're also growing into our positions. I think Jennifer and I'm learning so much, and I'm wanting to do certain things. And poor Marilyn has to be like, whoa, slow down. We don't do that right now. Or, you know, I know I'm always on the phone with Dr. Enti as well. So we're also growing into our positions, and we don't really know yet what might be asked of us in the future. So are there any other comments?
I'll say, let's just write all the questions we have coming out of this discussion down. So when we meet again, we'll dive directly to getting them answered.
Perfect.
I'll record and make like a separate, I'll make sure to put them in a neat order.
I write through stream of conscious, so I just put it on there. Oh, we do have somebody
Same.
coming in. I just admitted them, and we can mark them down as a visitor. Carla, if you can chat with this, I don't know,
Got it.
Cardian, and see if we've already passed personal or public comments for the night, but at least we can mark them down and reach out to them for next time. Discussion topic 6.2, hybrid meetings. So I asked Marilyn to add this because when we did the meet and greet, I worked a booth, and both of the Jennifers went and helped. And we got 40 parents to sign up to get like a monthly reminder email saying, hey, here's what we're going to talk about this week. Here's the link to the Zoom if you guys want to show up. And some of them expressed interest in running in the next election. But a lot of them said, hey, we want to go, but we want to go in person. And so I asked Marilyn to throw this on there so that we could maybe have the discussion of having a hybrid meeting where some of us are able to meet there in person, and there are some parents there. And for those that can't, I know one parent emailed me and said, hey, I work, I won't be able to go, that they can attend via Zoom. I don't know if we have the technology for it, if we have the infrastructure for it, or if we even have the the county health permission to meet in person at this point. So
I am not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think I heard probably Dr. Renty. There was some new information sometime that had indicated that as of a particular month, all the meetings need to go back to in person. I believe I heard that because I think what it was that we had not received any updates on whether we can be in person or not. But there was some clarification around, I think it was like October or something, that after October, the meetings need to be in person.
okay. And does that mean we can't? I mean, I know you may not know, but we can't have a Zoom option as well. Like,
you know what? I'm mixing two things up. That's the school board. That's different. So let me pull that back. Yeah, that's for the board. So I'm not sure if SSC would follow suit. Yeah.
okay. And Carla, I just want to clarify, this is under 6.2. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions, comments on that? Is anybody in favor of, if possible, right? Because we don't even know if it's possible, but of doing a hybrid meeting where we are there in person, but we have some kind of web camera focus on the table so that, you know, people who can't be there in person can still participate in the meeting.
For me personally, this is Jen Grobe. This works amazing for me as a mom. Sometimes my husband has to work nights. Sometimes we're out of town, and I've been able to do that there, or I could be on site. So if we had a type of hybrid, that would be fantastic. That's kind of, I think that's progress forward, because I think we do kind of limit the number of people that can attend. If people get off work at 6 o'clock at night, you know, they're running home, they need to, you know, get their kids dinner. It's 6:15, it's 6:30. They can jump on, they can have their headphones in, they can still be part and active without being in the office. So personally, it works. I like that a lot.
I'm gonna just jump in and say I agree. Like, it's nice to be able to, you know, I left work at 5 o'clock. I got home, we had dinner, like it's, you know, I was still able to do all those things. So it would be nice if we could keep it either virtual or hybrid, but I have a feeling that it's gonna just be whatever the law says. And before there was no hybrid option. So you know, that would probably be a good question for Dr. Renty or Marilyn to find out, like, what is the law, or has there been anything suggested that would say we're gonna be able to keep it hybrid? Because of course there's times when it is nice to have that in-person, like, face-to-face discussion too.
Yeah, I do want to keep in mind the needs of the staff to not be at school all day. I know that we have those late events at our school, and it's just, you just want to change the scenery every now and then. And likewise, I was able to come home, pick up the kids, have dinner, and then do this. And so if I'm required to stay at school, I don't typically go home and then go back. I don't live close enough to do that, so I don't know our staff's personal situation, but I do want to respect that. But at the same time, you know, I'm also thinking, now that Mr. Finley said they might have to go back to in-person meetings for school board, I may not be able to attend a lot of those meetings because it is always very difficult with kids to be out of the house. And they're not going to sit through that meeting for me. So, okay. We're on to items. Oh, if there's no, are there any other comments? Any in favors, any against? Okay. Approval of consent items 7.0. I'm going to scroll up, Carla. I am the one sharing, sorry. 7.1 meeting minutes. It is recommended that Reach School Site Council approve meeting minutes of May 13th, 2021. Did everybody get a chance to look at those? Were there any discrepancies, anything that we thought needed to change? Okay. If not, can we get can somebody please motion to approve it?
I motion to approve.
I'll second. Jennifer Grobe.
Okay, so Jennifer Hamilton motioned to approve. And Jen Grove motioned or seconded it. Seconded it. All right. Does Carla, do you take like the roll, or do I call out names and you just record?
Sorry, I think I call it. I'm trying to remember last time. I think I do.
Okay.
So I call the names, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So looks like Marcus Finley. Do you aye or nay?
I
Aye. Okay. Rachel Staler,
Aye.
Genevieve Hokinson,
Aye.
Alvin Oseguera,
Aye.
Carla Sanchez, aye. John Kearney's not here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Jennifer Gropp.
Aye.
Grope, sorry.
No worries.
Jennifer Hamilton
Aye.
and Brett McIntosh.
Also absent.
Absent, thank you. And the one and only Delfino
Aye.
Murillo.
Also in favor of.
Okay. All right. Is there anything I say after that?
You just total it up. So 8 in favor of.
Okay.
And then under or next to vote, at the top, you see that?
At the top, yes.
You'll put motion passes
Got
or
it.
motion carries. And
you say it as you type it.
Motion carries.
there we go.
Carries. There you go.
Okay. Oh, am I going? Am I moving it or are you moving?
You're moving it.
Oh, sorry. My mouse is funky.
It's
and it
okay.
doesn't work. All right. Action items. No action items. Yay. So we got nothing to do there. We're going to skip down to any board comments. Carla, then you'll put down their name. So anybody on the board wish to make any kind of comments?
This is Jen Grobe. I do have a comment. I have not been able to access the minutes or the agenda. I don't know why it hasn't, and it keeps saying that I've asked permission and stuff, but that is why I abstained earlier, because I hadn't had time to review them. So if we could maybe look at sending them in a different format. I don't know why either on my laptop or on my email via phone, I'm not able to access.
Okay.
So secondary
comment on that?
format.
Yes.
So when Marilyn either posts them online or I post them online, I could then respond to the email and just put the link that we post online, because then that will be a PDF format.
Mhm.
I would appreciate that. I have no clue why I can't do it, but I would definitely appreciate it.
Sure.
I have a lot of tech issues. I mostly get the Class Dojo on my phone, and I have a lot of tech issues trying to open those links up to Zoom. For some reason, it like posts the website wrong, and I have to edit part of it. But the other thing is also, Jen, if you're signed into a different like Google account, like I have 3 Google accounts because of work. And then on my phone, I also have my kid's Google account for his assignments. And so it's always like you don't have permission under this account, but I have to find the right one. So maybe that helps, but yeah, definitely posting a PDF would be easy. And I can talk to Marilyn about sending it out via PDF to at least the members. That way we have a better idea. And also, if you need a minute, I think when we're voting to approve the minutes or the agenda, ask for it. And so we can give you a second to read it.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Mhm. I wanted to make a quick comment about how much I appreciate Reach Academy and all of its staff. My son's first year was last year, which was not a Reach year. We didn't get to do any of the culture that Reach, has. And so going to the meet and greet this year and seeing all the teachers and just all the staff be excited was awesome. You really that's how you get a good sense of the culture. And so that's also part of the reason I'm asking to meet in person, because I want students to feel that. I want families to feel that. I know that I wish so bad that I could have gone to today's awards assembly. I also miss seeing all the assignments come across on Class Dojo, because I was able to keep a better eye on my son. But yeah, so I just really appreciate the culture there. I personally, as a new parent, new to a lot of the procedures and a lot of stuff, have had a couple of bumps learning, how exactly how things work at Reach, and every school has its own problem. But I think every time that I've had a concern and I've reached out to staff, I've called the office several times, talked to different people. Everybody has always been very patient with me, very informative with me, and very warm. And I appreciate that. I know that in times of COVID, it's really hard to call any organization and get somebody on the phone or get somebody to answer your question right. And I think the phone rings once, and then I hear, I almost thought it was a recording, like, "You've reached Reach Academy, how can I help you?" And I was like, wait, what? That's a person? And so I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. I want to give you a big kudos. I wish I had a lot of money to buy you guys all something. I don't, unfortunately, but I really, really appreciate you guys. And so, like I said, I'm here because I believe in what you guys are building. So that's my comment. Anybody else? Okay. That being said, I have 6:48 on my watch. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to say the meeting adjourned at 6:48. Can I get somebody to motion for us to adjourn this meeting?
I will
Motion
motion
that.
Jen Grobe.
I also have 6:46 on 4 of my clocks that I'm looking at right now.
You are just you're not on there.
I can't hit it. My computer's on one, my watch is on another, my phone's on a third. So we're gonna go with Mr. Finley's suggestion there. Does anybody second that?
I second it. Alvin.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Oh, our next board meeting. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second so that I can look that up, because I don't have the date here in front of me. You are cancel. So our next one is set for, we canceled the one in October, so November 18th, 2021 at 6 p.m. And I'm assuming since we'll be deeper into the year, we'll have a few more, we'll actually have some action items that time. But okay, if there's nothing else, everybody have a good night. We got out of here a little bit early, so that's awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm gonna
you.
let this person in, just let him know the meeting's over, but thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great
Thank
night.
you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much. Bye,
Delfino.
everybody.
Great job as always.
Thank you,
And
Carla.
thanks for the kind words.
Oh, you guys are rocking it.
Thank you. We
Absolutely.
appreciate all the parents, so thank you.
I'm just waiting for this person to connect.